Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Adam Cooperstein, and there he is right there, Frank James, who has gone from being a person of interest in yesterday's subway attack to becoming a full-fledged suspect, according to the NYPD. Right now, he is still on the run. You probably got an alert about him, in fact, on your phone.
It's over. One of the biggest manhunts in New York history ended today with the arrest of the suspect cops believe carried out the subway mass shooting that caused utter terror during rush hour. While making his way to New York, the suspect filmed himself in a rented van, clearly full of anger. Les Trent begins our coverage.
They got him. The madman who cops say unleashed havoc on a New York subway train was captured today wandering around Manhattan. The NYPD says tips started pouring in after they released a wanted poster for the suspect, Frank James. A civilian spotted him walking down Canal Street in Lower Manhattan. Another witness saw him at this McDonald's. Police responded to the report that the suspect was inside this McDonald's, but when they got here, he was not inside. They did, however, find him just a few blocks away, and you will not believe what he was doing. Witnesses say the man who allegedly wreaked so much havoc on this city was simply standing right here, charging his phone.
I see the guy. We got the guy, man.
The arrest at 1:42 p.m. was captured on video by multiple bystanders.
You ought to die. You ought to be incinerated.
James is 62 years old, a drifter who posts angry videos on YouTube under the moniker Prophet of Truth.
I am driving.
A day-by-day timeline is emerging from the video diary. Last month, he was living in Milwaukee when he suddenly packed up and drove to Philadelphia.
I'm heading back into the danger zone, so to speak. And it's triggering a lot of negative thoughts, of course.
From Philadelphia, cops say he rented a U-Haul van and drove to New York. That's the van crossing the Verrazano Bridge in Brooklyn the morning of the subway attack. In this exclusive surveillance video obtained by WCBS, we see a man who looks like Frank James, disguised as a construction worker, walking to the subway to allegedly carry out the bloody assault. Notice he's carrying a tote and wheeling around a bag that police say contained a hatchet, 2 gas canisters, a 9mm handgun with 3 extended magazines. Also, a stash of fireworks that he bought in Wisconsin. And here's the receipt. He paid $14.99 for a 6-pack of smoke bombs.
He was talking to himself the whole time.
Subway passenger Fachim Jalaschi says he was sitting across from the suspect on the N train when the attack
What's up, Joe W?
commenced.
What's up?
Shooting boom, boom, boom. I was like, whoa, this guy's crazy.
He says the man pointed the gun at him and fired twice, leaving bullet holes in his pants. Only by some miracle was he not hit.
All I gotta say, I'm lucky to live. That's all I'm gonna say.
See, I find that part fishy. What's going on, everybody? So before I continue playing the video, I find that specific point to be fishy because this person right here alleged to be sitting next to Frank James in the train when Frank James fired a gun at him in which the bullets did not hit him. Okay. And he's sitting right next to you, right? He's sitting right next to you, shooting at you. The bullets ripped through your tight ass jeans, but the bullets did not hit you. Okay. But I'll continue playing the video. Something I found funny.
I got really lucky.
Cops say James fired 33 times into the subway car, hitting 10 people. The subway station where the mayhem took place is open today, and as you can see, the platform has been scrubbed clean of blood. The subway attack has not helped New York City's battered image as the city fights rising crime and the pandemic. Real Housewives of New York's Bethany Frankel says she's fed up with the crime.
New York City is not safe.
You've got to take the handcuffs off the police, flood the system, do stop and frisk, and return some civility to the subway system. That's our veins and arteries. If you don't, Sean, New York City will never recover.
But today there is relief in the city as the suspect in Tuesday's rush hour nightmare is apprehended.
My fellow New Yorkers, we got him. We got him.
All right. So that was a news clipping of the situation concerning Frank James, also known in these YouTube streets as Prophet of Truth 88 and also Prophet of Doom. So as the news clipping just stated, and as a lot of you people know, yesterday, which was Tuesday, what's going on, everybody? What's up? What's up? Psycho Candy, Joe W, Sheed We Here, Sexy Red TV. Who else? Okay, that's it right now. Anybody else, right? Yeah, 33 shots. Yeah, I don't think anybody was killed though. Last time I heard a few people died, but I didn't see any article that stayed there, but we'll get to that, right? Ricardo Rodney. But going on. Tuesday, April the 12th, 2022, in the Sunset Park district of Brooklyn, New York, in the 36th Street train station, allegedly, a 62-year-old African-American by the name of Frank James went inside the train at 8:45 a.m. and let off a few smoke bombs. And within the smoke, he started shooting people in the train and let off 33 shots, in which, as a result, about 23 people were injured. What's up, Ricardo Rodney? And Frank James, who we all now know is a YouTuber, or was a YouTuber, and had several different YouTube channels. In several of his videos, he have professed to have the desire to take people's lives. And if this is true, if he actually did do it, this proves my point of when I say the weak ass Negro male needs to be extinct. This is an example of weak males in society. And because of their weakness, they ruin society. Look at what happened. Once again, I'm saying if this is true. Because fuck this. If you guys watch my videos over the years, you know that I have a conspiratorial side, right? And when it comes to a lot of these mass shootings, I'm quickly to think that this is some Project MK Ultra / Manchurian Candidate / mind control shit, where someone is mind controlled or is a victim of mind control, where through certain words or certain triggers let off a certain part of his brain, of certain part of that person's brain, to just become a full-fledged assassin and eliminate people. Now, these projects have been conducted, but that's one of. But That's the first thing that comes to my mind when I hear a lot of these mass shootings. You know, I look at it as certain events utilized to put fear in the minds and hearts of people in order to promote a specific agenda by people in places of power. That's my theory. But I have to accept the fact that that is a theory. It could be 100% true that Frank James may have been acting on his own and just decided just decided out of nowhere to just kill people, or in this case, shoot people. My theory might be wrong. And if my theory is wrong, and Frank James actually did this crime, he exemplifies what I spoke about in my prior video, one of my prior videos, when I spoke about how the weak ass Negro male needs to be extinct. This is an example of that. Now, according to certain articles that I was reading, it stated that in some of his videos that he had on YouTube, that he had a desire to take people's lives. And it stated that, like I said, through certain articles that I've read on the situation, that he claimed that he had PTSD. He claimed that he was seeing a counselor. So it was obvious that he has some sort of mental issues, maybe whatever, right? But nonetheless, I don't care what type of fucking mental illness or psychological illness or emotional illness one may have. Because, of course, most people who are mentally ill do not do these things. Like most people who are mentally ill do not do these things. So I can't even utilize that as an excuse. All I can say is that if my conspiracy theory is false and Frank James really did do it, he's the type of person who was too weak and unable to properly solve whichever problems he was fighting, he was going through in his life. And he did not know how to properly fight whichever internal battles he was going through. Thus, he wanted to take it out on innocent people that didn't do shit to him. This, my friend, is an example of a weak-ass Negro male who needs to undergo forced sterilization, aka eugenics. It's funny how just a few days ago I spoke about something. I spoke about the weak ass Negro male, and I even gave an example of people on social media who end up committing these mass shootings, right? And I utilize that as an example of a weak ass Negro male, and unfortunately, look what happened. And this kind of hit close to home. Well, it did hit home because this is my home city. And not only that, but I actually have friends that lived in the area where this shooting took place. I remember when this first happened, right? Yesterday morning, when I first caught wind of this, and I saw that it took place in a certain area where I have certain friends at, which is, once again, the Sunset Park area of Brooklyn, New York. I was worried, I was concerned. So my first thing was to contact some of my friends to see if they're all right. And by the grace of the Most High, they was okay. So I'm happy that they didn't end up in the line of fire. But it's funny because some of my friends take that same train that train where the shooting took place, they take that same train to and from work, which is the N train. But they're very fortunate to not have entered that train at that specific time. So I'm happy that none of my friends were victims of this mass shooting, but I'm unhappy that there were innocent people that got caught up and became victims of this shooting. But once again, this is an example of how weak-ass Negro males need to go extinct. Because weak Negro males, now once again, I'm stating this. Once again, I'm only stating this if this whole thing is true, as far as if Frank James really did commit this crime. Because once again, my conspiracy theory, antennas be bugging. I have like this imaginary tinfoil hat. Because once again, when I see these mass shootings or when I read about them, when I watch the news and I hear about these mass shootings, there's some part of my mind that believes that this is like one of these mind control Project MK Ultra professional hits, and then someone else gets blamed and accused of it. That's the first thing that goes inside of my mind. But once again, like I said before, I have to be logical enough to accept the fact that my theory may not be true. Right? So, like I said, if Frank James really did do it, this is a case, like I said, of some people not knowing how to properly resolve whichever personal issues that they are going through or they have gone through in their personal lives. And this is the thing with weak ass males. Weak ass males do not know how to properly cope with certain issues that they go through in life. When it comes to weak ass males, in their mind, whatever problems that they're going through, everyone else around them would have to face the consequences because they're unhappy. They're unhappy. Their life is not going as good. Their life is not going the way that they believe it should. Therefore, the lives of everybody else that have nothing to do with their issue have to be ruined. Yeah, Sigma American Arcana, he made an interesting point. He said they connecting that dude to the manosphere. This might get interesting. I wonder if the FBI might use it to go after certain channels. Maybe. Yeah, Psycho Candy's correct. Psycho said the feds have been watching for a while. Anything that is extremist or radical is enough to set off the monitoring. Well, every YouTuber have been monitored for a minute. Oh, what's up, Callie Jane? Callie Jane 79, what's up? Beat Bods or Beat Boss, what's up? What's going on? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, these spaces have been monitored for a while. They've been monitored for, I'll say this, ever since YouTube first existed in 2005. These spaces have been monitored. Let me tell you something. When you're on social media, you're being monitored. You're being monitored when you're on social media. There's no such thing as a social media account that's not being monitored. You're being watched. But okay, going back to what I was saying, yeah. Certain weak ass males do not know how to properly resolve whichever personal issues that they're going through in life. You have these certain weak ass males who have this misery love company mentality. You guys know about that. Misery love company. If my life is, if I'm upset If I don't feel good, I'm gonna do everything in my power to make everyone around me feel bad also. Everybody have to pay for the things that I'm going through in life. People like that, if this thing is true, are very selfish individuals. They're very selfish individuals. And that's one of the things with weak ass Negro males. Weak ass Negro males are very selfish. All right. Their mentality is if my life is not going good, your life won't go good either. And the reason why I say that a lot of these weak ass Negro males, and in this case, even females are like this, are very selfish. I'm talking about weak individuals. Now, let me say this. Let me say this. I have to put a fucking disclaimer on this because it's going to be some slow ass motherfucker, right? That's going to watch my video and hear me say Negro male or weak ass Negro male to assume that I'm speaking about the entire collective so-called black males. So let me put this disclaimer out here. Every so-called black male do not fit the description of a weak-ass Negro male. So when I use that term, once again, weak-ass Negro male, I am not talking about every single so-called black male or every single so-called black man or every single so-called black boy, because not every single so-called black male is a weak-ass nigga. And not every so-called black male would do some stupid shit like that. Now, it should be obvious that I'm not speaking about a whole collective of or entire demographic of black males. But some people love to take people's words out of context and trying to use that against them. You know, we got this shit here in YouTube, you know. But anyhow, going on to what I was saying. See, one of the things with a lot of weak males, I say that they're very selfish. And the reason why I'm saying that they're selfish is because they tend to think that whichever problems that they're going through in life, that they're the only ones that's going through some sort of crisis in life. You know, when they face some sort of crisis, when they face some sort of some sort of obstacle in their lives, they have a mentality in which they think that they're the only ones that's going through some sort of adversity. They think that everyone else, that the lives of everyone else is just happy-go-lucky. Everyone else is not going through any adversity. Everyone else in this world don't have issues of their own. It's them that's going through all these issues. Thus, they get upset at the world, saying that you need to be just as miserable as me. You need to be just as fucked up as I am. Thus, I'm going to do what it takes for you to be just as fucked up as me or worse. And as a result, you have this type of shooting. Some people in this, it's funny because some people in this world don't think that everybody's going through problems themselves, because, I mean, anybody with common sense know that in life, in this world, every human being are going through problems. Every human being in this world have had and or currently have and or will have some sort of issue in life. You will go through times of adversity. You will go through problems. That's every human being in this world. That is part of the human experience. You will go through problems. You will go through some sort of struggle in life, whether it's a financial struggle, whether it's a health struggle, social struggle, family struggle. You will go through some sort of problem. This is how this world, this is the type of world that was given to us. And common sense will tell you that You will always go through problems, but it all comes down to how or what you do to resolve these issues, to make these issues go away. But some people in life don't have that understanding. They don't realize that everybody in this world go through problems also. Hell, you got people in this world that are going through 10 times worse things than you, but they just know how to resolve and handle whichever issues that they have. But some people don't see it that way. Some people do not see things that way. Some people, they think that they're the only ones that's going through some sort of crisis in life. And since that's their mentality, and they do not have the willpower to persevere and endure and keep a strong and positive mind and spirit to say, you know what? I'm going to fight these demons in my life. I'm going to fight these obstacles. I see this obstacle. I'm going to make sure I'm going to climb above that. I'm going to rise above this situation. I'm going to solve this. No, what they think of making other people's lives miserable. Or sometimes they think of taking the life of other people. This is an example of weak ass Negro males. Yeah, Callie Jane. Callie Jane says, yeah, some people love to use a general statement to justify being a contrarian. Yeah. Yeah, I hit a dead center. Yeah, Sigma American Arcana says that's exactly how many weak Negro males think. Yeah. Oh, this is good. This is good. Self-pity level 9,000. Yeah. Yeah, she just like she says, what's up, she? She says, like. I shouldn't have to tell you, and she shouldn't have to tell y'all. Y'all come and watch this video, you have to click like. Okay? Well, you don't have to, but I would like you to, like the video, But I'm going to keep this comment right here. Self-pity on level 9,000. Exactly. Self-pity on level 9,000. Everyone in life struggles, man. And this is the thing. And this is the thing that I believe that a lot of people within this space don't realize. Because I see a lot of this misery love company mentality when it comes to a lot of these online spaces. It's like everyone is going through problems. It's just that, of course, not everyone will tell you their problems because many people don't know you to tell you their fucking business. Or other people choose to resolve their problems head on by doing what it takes to make that problem go away. No. And some people choose to deal with their problems, by not openly expressing what they're going through. They just say, hey, fuck it. I'm just going to endure through it. Everybody go through shit. But these weak ass males like Frank James don't understand that. So their mentality is, I'm going to make other people's lives miserable. Shalom, Sir with Yahoo. What's going on? What's going on, man? Make sure y'all subscribe to Sir with Yahoo, man, and his channel. He say a lot of deep shit, concerning political ideologies and what have you. Well, I think most of you in this comment section already subscribe to him, but if you haven't done so already, do it. Yeah, man. But like I said, on the flip side, like I said, my imaginary tinfoil hat is fucking buzzing. And I'm saying, is this brother framed? Well, I call him brother for lack of a better word. Is he being framed? Because I believe these things happen. I believe mass shootings happen by other individuals who are victims of mind control, and then another individual is framed for it, and it's done as a way to promote a specific agenda. I believe these things do happen. This might not be the case for Frank James. Maybe he did do it, but that's my belief. It could see people should open their mind to actually believe that this might be a possibility. What I just said about the whole mind control experiment shit, right? That might be the case, or it might not be the case. Who knows? But if Frank James really did commit that mass shooting, he's a weak ass nigga. Now, a few people in these, now I've watched a few videos from a few people on YouTube, and people have alleged that Frank James is or was a member of the so-called Black Manosphere. Is this true? I mean, because in order for this, in order for a person or for a content creator to be part of the online community called the Black Manosphere, first they must profess that with their own mouth on video. Now there have been news articles, certain from certain sources within the mainstream media that's covering this, that have alleged that he's part of the Black Manosphere. But is there any video evidence of this individual saying with his own mouth that he's a member of the so-called Black Manosphere? Have he spoke as if he's a member of the Black Manosphere? Like, is there any video evidence of it? Because, the talk in the space is like, once again, that he's a member of the space and that what he did will be pinned on the entire space. Right? Will be pinned on the entire space, in which, technically speaking, the entire manosphere, whether Black, white, Latino, Asian, whatever, it like that, the entire manosphere online community is going to get a big wake-up call anyway. They're going to get a big wake-up call, because regardless if Frank James was a member of the so-called Black Manosphere or not, the fact of the matter is that there have been enough mass shootings by people who are actually linked to the manosphere, all right, in order to designate the manosphere online community as something very dangerous that breeds violent people. So regardless if Frank James was a member of the so-called Black Manosphere or not, like I said, there are enough mass shooters, or have been enough mass shooting by people who have been connected to the manosphere space, in order for the manosphere online community can be considered as a dangerous breeding ground for terrorists, unfortunately. And it was done, like I said, 2 years ago. I said this 2 years ago in a video called "The Black Manosphere is Dead." And 2 years ago, I said that one of the biggest mistakes, I wouldn't say mistakes, but one of the worst things that could happen, and I said this in reference to the Black Manosphere, but you can say this in reference to the entire manosphere space, in which I said that one of the worst things that could happen is that the space moved away from actually fighting and advocating for the upliftment of men's rights, and catered to incels to the point of fact that they've allowed incels to infiltrate these spaces. The entire manosphere space, well, I won't say the entire part, but a large portion of these manosphere spaces have neglected being activists for the rights of men and for the upliftment of men, and have turned this space into a place where they've allowed incels to infiltrate it and come out with content which states very extremist things, thus giving the entire space a bad name. You say you're going to MEPS tomorrow for processing. What is MEPS? And what does that have to do with the topic of discussion? I called that out 2 years ago. What's up, Plexity, a documentary story channel? What's up? Okay. Yeah, man. Oh, military. Oh, okay, the military. Oh, okay. Oh, you going there tomorrow, Azure Saint? Oh, okay. Well, good luck, bro. Good luck, bro. Oh, military entrance processing station. All right. Oh, thank you for letting me know. You know, I have no military experience, so I have no military experience. Yeah, they do paperwork for the military. Okay. Okay, well, good luck. Good luck, man. Oh, is that all they do? Is that all they do is paperwork for the military? Like, do you have to be an actual member of the military in order to do paperwork for the military? Oh, this is Kwafi Nino. Okay, Nino, what's up? Like I said, I don't know. I have, obviously, once again, I have no military experience, so I don't know shit about the military except for niggas got guns and shoot motherfuckers. So, oh, it is for you to be processed in. All right, so all right, so let's get back to the topic at hand. Okay, that's cool. Okay, good luck, as you're saying. Good luck. I wish you good luck. But let's get back to the topic of discussion. All right. Yeah. So going to Frank James supposedly being linked to the so-called Black Manosphere, I want anybody in the comment section to tell me either yes or no. Is there video evidence or video footage of Frank James, aka Prophet of Truth 88 or Prophet of Doom 88, professing that he's a member of the so-called Black Manosphere? Because although he's a so-called black male, and he has made videos talking about, you know, his feelings about the behavior of so-called black females. The fact is have he professed to be a member of the so-called Black Manosphere? Because people are saying they're going to link him to the so-called Black Manosphere, and the so-called Black Manosphere won't be taken down, even though that if this shooting have never had happened, the so-called Black Manosphere and the entire Manosphere space would have been taken down anyway. Because it's just been, like I said before, there have been enough mass shootings in which the shooters have been linked to the Manosphere space in order for the space in its entirety to be known as a dangerous breeding ground for domestic terrorists. Unfortunately, you know, unfortunately. I mean, yeah, I heard that too, that he was on a panel with BGS, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's a member of the so-called Black Manosphere. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could be on a panel with anybody as long as they invite you in the panel. That doesn't necessarily make you a member of that online community. Like I could go to the divester, I could go to like a panel full of divestors, right? And they invite me to speak on the panel. Does that make me a member of the divestment community? No. I could go to a person who's, who's, I'll say immoral, right? And they give me the link to go on their panel. I click the link and I'm on the panel. Does that make me a member of immoral? No. No. So yeah, I heard that too. But what I want to know is that did he profess with his own mouth on the video that he's a member of the so-called Black Manosphere? So what people are saying. So y'all let me know, yes, no. So what? Once again, okay, so this is what people are saying, that he's a member of the so-called Black Manosphere, and they're going to use the situation to take the space down, even though this space is dead anyway, and it's going to be taken down regardless. That's what people say, right? And the thing is that there have been allegations in which they say that certain other content creators will probably take the fall as a result of this shooting and this alleged shooter being supposedly linked to the so-called Black Manosphere, right? And it's not to defend the so-called Black Manosphere, because like I said, the so-called Black Manosphere is dead anyway. It's a dead space anyway. But by the way people are speaking, they gotta understand that they say that, okay, you guys know, some of you guys heard of the RICO Act, right? Or the RICO law, the racketeering inspired corrupt organizations law, or act, the RICO Act, right? Now, the only way there's only two ways that the United States government can use this situation to then go after other content creators in this space. One way is to say that the manosphere, the online community, is on a terrorist watch list. But in order to do that, the manosphere has to be an actual organization, in which the manosphere isn't. The manosphere is just an online community, right? But another thing that the government could do is put a RICO Act on the manosphere online community. And the RICO Act, if anybody know about the RICO Act, it's the RICO Act is kind of complex, but to make it simple for you guys, right? Well, to make it simple in general, is that with the RICO Act, you don't need to commit a crime in order. You don't need to have evidence to commit a crime in order to go to prison. The only thing the government needs in order to take you down is that they need proof that you was involved in an organization or group of people that was involved in committing a crime. That's RICO, to make it simple for you. Like, for example, let's say if Ricardo Rodney, a Jewish saint, and AO, or let's say Plexity documentary channel, Ricardo Rodney, a Jewish saints, and myself. Let's say if we was in the group together, right? And a Jewish saint and Ricardo Rodney, they both committed a crime. There's proof that they committed a crime and whatever. And there was proof that through our group that I'm in, the organization that Azure Saint, Ricardo Rodney, the Plexi documentary, and myself was in and helped, and through the organization, they were able to commit a crime. Now, in order for the government to take me down, they don't need proof of me committing a crime at all. They just need proof of me being involved in that group. And I could go to jail underneath the RICO Act. So based on what certain people in these spaces are talking about, saying that this shooting that's linked to Frank James can be linked to the entire Black manosphere, one of the only ways that can happen is if the government put a RICO Act on the manosphere. And that can very well happen. Now, I'm not trying to scare some people and say it will happen. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But it can happen. But once again, this is what happened. Okay. Whether Frank James was, or wasn't a member of the so-called Black manosphere, the thing is that since the so-called Black manosphere and the manosphere in general have allowed incels, weirdos, and just weirdos, grifters, miserable people, and the likes to come into this space and make content that has nothing to do with the upliftment of the male gender. Thus, it's so easy to correlate Frank James with this entire space. When you let incels, weirdos, miserable people, and just people that have nothing of substance, nothing positive to contribute to the space, into the space, and make content that has nothing to do with the upliftment of the male gender, but it has all to do with crying about females, worrying about who females are having sex with, crying over the fact that they're not having sex with you, and fantasizing, doing violence upon them. Thus, you have let the space look so bad to the point of fact that people can correlate Frank James with the space and easily say that he's a member of the space, to the point of fact that the public would believe it, because some of the things that he says go side by side with some of the things that a lot of people in this space says. This is what happens when you allow weak ass males to come into this space and fuck it up. This is what happened when you let weak ass males come into this space and fuck things up. You see, when I speak about weak ass males, once again, I'm not speaking about the entire so-called Black male collective. I'm talking about just a specific segment of the Black male collective, a segment. And I'm not speaking about vulnerable people. When I'm talking about weak ass males and even weak ass females, I'm not speaking about vulnerable people. I'm not speaking about people who are economically weak. I'm not talking about people who are physically weak. I'm not talking about people who are I'm not talking about anything of the likes. I'm talking about when I speak about weak ass Negro males and weak ass Negro females, I'm talking about dysfunctional ass motherfuckers. People who are dysfunctional, people who are destructive, people who are immoral, people with evil intent. Those are the weak ass motherfuckers that I'm talking about. They're the weakest of the weak. They're even weaker than vulnerable people. People who are vulnerable but are not destructive or dysfunctional or have evil intent. Those types of people are not the problem. Weak ass individuals who are unable to properly deal with whichever personal issues that they have and want to take it out on trying to kill innocent people, those are the motherfuckers that I'm talking about that should go extinct. Dysfunctional people, destructive people, people who are immoral, people who have evil intent. Those are the weak ass motherfuckers I'm talking about. Those types of people ain't shit. And those are the type of people that I'm better than. I'm better than those motherfuckers. Shoot. If you are a destructive individual, yes, you deserve to be extinct. Because destructive people, all they do is destroy, destroy, destroy. Like Frank James. Yeah. If Frank James really did do this shooting, he deserves to be extinct. And people like him deserve to be extinct. If anyone disagree, let me know. Let me know if they disagree. Yeah. If I'm wrong, let me know. If people like him do not deserve to be extinct, let me know why. What say you? What say you guys? Shoot. Once again, when you allow incels, socially inept individuals, weirdos, sex traffickers, criminals, etc., into this online community that we call the manosphere, and let them and allow them to change the narrative to the point of the fact that we neglect being activists for the rights of men, and then turn this into some complaining about pussy type of community. And even to the point that we turn this shit to a relationship space and a dating space. Guess what? What you think is going to happen? What's going to happen, even though I'm asking a rhetorical question, but I'm going to answer my own rhetorical question anyway. What's going to happen is that the image of this space will become so bad that a person like Frank James whether he professed to be a member of the manosphere or not, would be linked to the manosphere because of the destructive things that we do and allow in this fucking space. This is what I mean by weak ass Negro males needing to be extinct. This is what I mean. That is if he actually did do it. If Frank James did in fact commit this mass shooting in Brooklyn, New York at 8:45 in the morning on April 12th, 2022, then he should be extinct. No ifs, ands, or buts about him. People like that are the weak Negro males that needs to be extinct. And it's people like that that will be out to kill real men who are about something positive, who are about something productive, who are about something righteous. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of males who think like Frank James, who exist in these spaces, but they just don't have the heart to do what Frank James did. But they think like Frank James. They think of going out there in the world and destroying the lives of other people just because their lives is not going as well. Just because they can't attract a certain type of female that they want to attract. Just because they dick have been dry for the past 3 fucking years. Some people like that do exist. So anyway, that's all I have to say, man. That's all I have to say. I'm done with this. I am finished. I'm done with this. So you guys have a very good night. All right, peace. Hold on, I said I was leaving. What up, Book of Ronin? What's up? What's up? Yeah. Self-serving zealots. Cartel, what's going on? All right, I'm out.